Everyone, hope you're well here. It's a very sunny day here in Naarm. I'm here, Christian McBride. Some of you might know me, but that doesn't matter. I'm here from CrewCare, and we're having a chat about the mental health first aid courses, which we are running in conjunction with Support Act. These are fully funded by Support Act, and they're provided free to all crew and people who work in the live music. Whether or not you're a CrewCare member or not, you could jump on and do a mental health first aid course. Now, we have some new courses run by CrewCare. They're run by Mental Health First Aid Australia, and very shortly we're hoping to have Paige Johnston, who's a facilitator in these courses for us. She's going to jump online, have a quick chat to us about mental health first aid. But I just wanted to mention that we running these courses this year again through businesses and individuals in March, on the 19th to 20th of March, on the 30th of April, and the 1st of May, and then again in June. All those dates, hard to remember dates, they're all on the CrewCare website, so jump on crewcare.org.au, and we're also running refresher courses for people who've done mental health first aid. So it looks like I've got Paige Johnston from MHFA. She's a facilitator. I've done a course with Paige. She's fantastic. Let's bring on Paige.
There she is. Hey, Paige, how are you?
Hello.
Okay, hello. Yes, we did it. Technology.
So good.
Paige, hey, Paige. Thanks so much for jumping on. I've got a couple of quick questions for you. I've mentioned to everyone, if you didn't see, we all love you over here in CrewCare. We've been doing some mental health first aid. You're a facilitator, but I wanted to get you to talk a little bit about the program Mental Health First Aid, but just as an introduction whilst people jump in, how did you personally get into the mental health first aid space? What got you into it?
Well, I've been working in the mental health and community services field for about 19 years. So I actually ended up getting certified as a mental health first aid facilitator probably about 9 to 10 years ago, if not maybe even a bit more. And that was actually as an opportunity. As the company that I worked for at that point in time, we had over 1,000 staff. So what we really wanted to do was to make sure that every single person within that company had the ability to support their peers and their teammates, and then also for the leadership teams to be able to support their employees and their team members. So I actually then got certified and was able to kind of then work towards upskilling majority of the workforce within that company. And then I kind of started to, connect with other companies that were also in that space. So yeah, I think it might even just be more than 10 years now. So I don't know, I've lost track of time. So that's great. Kind of how I become a certified facilitator, but my background is psych and community services and mental health and suicide prevention anyway. Outside of it, yeah.
So it sort of came natural to do this thing. So it's a very particular word and course. So I guess we should dig into specifically, first of all, what is mental health first aid? And I guess what isn't it?
Yeah, so mental health first aid, I guess, first of all, what it isn't is actually a really good point to make. It's not about upskilling people to then be able to counsel, be their direct support, provide mental health, support.
Or diagnose, I guess.
Hey?
Or diagnose. That's something that I took from the course.
Not.
We're not here to
not.
diagnose people.
Yeah, once you've done mental health first aid, the idea is that you can't go around telling everyone what they might have a diagnosis of. Definitely not. But what it is, it's an opportunity to bring awareness. So for people that don't know a lot about mental health, it brings awareness to what the different diagnosis is, what are some of the challenges and the things that they might experience, and what are some of the support that you could put in place or the tools that you can have in order to provide support to that person. For people that have some knowledge of mental health, it might be a refresher for them, or it might be that, yes, they're exposed to mental illness, whether it be for themselves or for people that they have around them within their teams, family, friends, but not actually know what to do or what steps to take that is going to actually support them moving forward in their recovery. So it kind of then starts to give them strategies and real tools to do that. Mental health first aid is definitely something that provides that all-round education education, through that awareness and those strategies and tools, it's evidence-based as well. So that's something that's really important.
Excellent. And so what would we, I like the evidence. What I really took, sometimes it's easy for me to reflect and relate, especially in our industry. What I really liked is we started the courses with, with an introduction to obviously what mental health is and some of the things, but some of the statistics are quite striking, and some people might get it wrong. Like what types of mental illness may be anxiety or depression. It's a really good introduction to that. But what you've mentioned sort of broadly strategies. Now these courses that we're running, we're running them over 2 days for a few hours each day. What kind of things can they expect in the course?
So really at first they'll get that introduction. We'll talk about the difference between mental health and mental illness, because there is a difference. We all experience mental health or have our mental health, but whether we have a diagnosis or of a mental illness where it starts to have an impact on our lives is different. So it helps people establish the difference between there. We cover some of the main diagnoses, whether it's depression, anxiety, psychosis, substance use. So we kind of try to target some of the main things that they might see in supporting people, but in our manuals we provide information on a range of different other diagnoses that do exist that you can provide support for. So once you kind of go through that introduction, we'll then actually go through those modules. So we'll look at anxiety, we'll look at what anxiety is, what are some of the behaviours or reactions or challenges that come with that, what are some of the signs, and then what are some of the helpful tools attached to someone that experiences anxiety. And we map that through each of those modules, whether we move on to depression, substance use, suicide.
Yeah, what I really liked is that the course is balanced with some really good videos, which are obviously they're videos put on possibly by actors, but they really start to open up how a role-playing situation could happen. And obviously there's experienced facilitator like yourself, and I found that what you're able to do is to lead conversations that then bring in the people who might be doing the course to see how they can really start to think about because role-playing is important. Having these conversations out of this space where you might be approached by someone who might have an opportunity to use the skills, but it's important to practice those skills in this sort of space when you're learning and thinking. So yeah, it includes these videos, it includes the coursework and talking, and that's the kind of thing people can expect that I found very helpful. And then what I liked is you mentioned just sort of, again, more broadly as an introduction, people may not know what this is about. I think it's really important. Another thing I found, even just thinking about it, like this nation, what it means to say building awareness, is that I feel like there can be some stigma around mental health itself. And so I just wondering if you could just speak to what we mean when we say there's stigma around mental health, and why it's important in workplaces as well, like the music industry, that we break down some of this stigma around mental illness.
Yeah, and I mean, when we look at stigma, it can be a very broad range of what that can look like. But some of the examples of that is, for example, within a workplace, is that if someone was to speak up and identify and talk about their mental illness, that there's stigma that might affect their ability to do their job. That might affect their ability to get promotions and, new contracts and new ways of working. So the idea is that if someone experiences mental illness, is that going to disadvantage them in some way? And the stigma around that is that when people don't know or understand mental illness and don't understand some of the tools and strategies that you can actually do to provide that support, it kind of then becomes something that no one really acknowledges or talk about. So when we start building that awareness within workplaces or communities, what mental illness is, how that has an impact, and how you can provide support and connect with that person, it then just becomes something that people experience and something that some people have to move through in terms of those challenges and that journey. No different to whether it might be someone that experiences a physical disability or an illness of some kind. So people generally feel more comfortable to talk about an illness that they might be experiencing. It's like, and people show that empathy for what that person experiences. By building that awareness and teaching more people around mental health, we want to also build that empathy within the community of how they can best support that person.
That's a really good point. I've heard a statistic that something like 1 in 5 people have a physical disability that might be unseen, right? And so that's the same with mental health. There's a lot of stuff that might be unseen, so they might not feel comfortable because of the stigma. It's like as soon as you identify someone with a mental illness or something, it's like, oh, I can't talk about this. As you mentioned, this could stop me getting a promotion. But also, importantly, it might stop people from seeking help or seeking some coping mechanisms wherever they are at. So that's the two-sided part of stigma that I think a course like this is really important. It really helps to make. And what we're talking about, especially in Support Act, one of the programs Support Act are working on at the moment, and they are funding CrewCare to deliver the mental health first aid courses, is a mentally healthy workplaces. And so as much as that's kind of a catch-all word, it's a stigma-related thing that we're digging into. Yes, we're always trying to improve the nature of workplaces, make them safe, but a course like this helps. So look, this has been really good. I don't want to hammer it on. We really appreciate your time. We know you're very busy, and an important thing about being a facilitator and thinking about this is to take breaks. Like, I like that the course is over 2 days because it can be quite full on. Like, you're talking about some heavy themes. Like, I know we're smiling, happy, yeah, but I'll need to take a walk in between. I found after I did the course, I would just go for a nice walk outside, like have a little breather and break. The courses are over 2 days, and then like that feeds into mental health generally. So, you've got a lot of experience in this field. I think it's important for people that are giving help to others, that be carers or people that are struggling. What are some general tips? We'll just finish positively. It's a bit cloudy in Brisbane. I can't believe it's cloudy in Brisbane, sunny in Melbourne. What is going on? What would you say as just some general stuff for people that have logged on, that about maintaining your mental health, via what you could do to have self-care and to maintain a general level of mental health?
I think one of the main things is really having the ability to recognize it. People are busy, they've got big jobs, families, kids, all those types of things that are added stress and added things that people have to think about and consider and work through. And I think without actually stopping and thinking about your own well-being and your mental health, when you do that, you can then start to think, okay, what is it that I need to do to fill my cup? What is it that I need to do that I know is going to improve my day or make me feel better for whatever it is? And it might be going for a walk, it might be going to the gym, it might be taking a break and seeing friends. And the idea is it's different for everyone. So everyone really needs to spend that time to think about what it is that supports their overall well-being, their mental health, their self-care. And so I think actually stopping and spending some time considering what those are is going to support them kind of moving forward by incorporating those types of activities or things within their routine, right? So it's a very easy thing to be like, yep, going for a walk is something that really provides me that clarity, that time to clear my head, to zone out of work. But I've been so busy the last 3 weeks and I haven't been able to fit it in. And so it's then starting to prioritize that as a part of your overall health and well-being.
Well, that's fantastic. And just to come full circle to how we are doing this, we're doing it in a group which is workplace based. A lot of us are like working in production companies and, or might be contractors who are coming in, individuals. But I just wanted to say that, like, I think also the value of doing this via CrewCare and by these Support Act funded groups, the way we're doing it is that it's a group where everyone knows. You even know the people you're in, but it's obviously confidential. But what I'm trying to say is, like, there's a lot of empathy and understanding. So the discussions that we're having can be based in the workplace. Like, we can role play ideas that might come up, like, oh, you're on a load in. We understand that there are bigger issues that are affecting people's mental health, like fatigue and all of this stuff.
Yeah, I'll be honest, one of the things that I've really found in working the last few years with CrewCare is that the connections and relationships that people grow within this space is huge. It's lifelong, whether they've not seen each other for 10 years. But the fact is that everyone in that group just seems to understand what they do, understand the challenges that they experience in a workplace. And I think that really helps them support each other. And after the course, people start to connect to say, hey, I'm always here if you need. And that then kind of promotes that overall wellness, but also that overall awareness that people then have to kind of connect within that workplace.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I certainly felt this way, and I know others are like, yeah, I know this, but I just want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. You know, I want to be a support for people, but I want to be the right kind of support. So I think that's what a course like the Mental Health First Aid does. And just to really, so really thanks for your time today, and
No worries.
mentioning to everyone, everyone can jump on. We'll be going through the businesses. There's courses happening in March, May, and June, and also refresher courses, which I found very helpful. We're doing a refresher course on the 2nd of July. Jump on crewcare.org page. Thank you so much for your
No
time today.
worries.
And
Hope to see everybody there.
I'll see everyone there. Thank you again. See everyone. Bye
Thanks
now.
so much. Bye.